Well, hey, good day to you. Yeah, a special video from the Suzuki SV. It's not all going to be from here. Some of it's going to be from my kitchen. Yeah, it's about vlogging and setup, and the setup I've got. Yeah. So at the moment I'm filming you on the GoPro 10 with an inline volume control. Yeah, I don't know what the angle is, which is one of the problems I'm having with the SV, is getting a good angle, but you'll see I've also got a camera there. This one is the GoPro 7 and I'll show you that connected and the mic set up to that. Yeah, I'll leave the volume control in line as it is, just so you get a rough idea. So as I say, the GoPro 10, all the GoPros tend to be a little bit temperamental, switching off, switching on, doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, corrupting film. But I do a lot of filming, and overall they probably are the better camera. The issue comes around sound, and if you don't know, motovlogging is probably one of the toughest environments for an action camera when it comes to sound, because we've got wind noise, we've got the engine. GoPro try and make the cameras far cleverer than you really need them, and here we've got speed camera and we've got a 20-mile-an-hour limit. Yeah, marvellous. Yeah, so there's lots of settings. I tend to turn the wind reduction off, yeah, because what tends to happen is it will end up cracking and banging as the little computers inside, the little chips, try and figure out what noise it should be filtering and what noise it shouldn't. But what I'll do is, to give you a rough idea, I'll have a little blast down here before switching it to the GoPro 7. The main camera at the moment I use is the Insta360 RS, which I'll also talk about afterwards. But let's just get out of 20 miles an hour. You might not even be able to see that, I don't know, I just don't know. That's the problem, yeah, with the setup I've got on this at the moment. I could have checked it on my phone, but look at the crap on this road here, gravel, mud. Yeah. So yeah, so what I'll do is, I'd hope to have a little bit of a blast to show you, but clearly that's not going to happen. Oh, might do, he's turning off. So we'll have a little blast from here to the speed limit. So hopefully that'll have demonstrated the sort of noise you get, and what I'll do down here, I'll find a suitable place to turn around and just stop and change the camera over, and I'll show you how easy it is so you can have both. Of course, what you could do is simply you could have this camera going and take the sound from the GoPro 10. Yeah, you can separate the two out, which I might show my editing in a separate video. how it gets from camera to YouTube. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just stop here. It seems to be quiet, so I'll stop here. There we go, into neutral, get my visor up so I don't steam up. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to disconnect the sound now from the GoPro 10. You will still hear me because the GoPro 10 has got microphone on. So let's get that cable. I'm just going to have the cable loose, and you can see that's now plugged in to there. It's plugged into a mic adapter, which is through here and in a separate casing, which it'll all become clear when you see it in the kitchen. Switch that on. There we go, that's switched on now. Don't know if you can see that, just got the screen and above it, and that might become the view for my mutters, you never know. Right, and then we're off. And so now what you'll be seeing is the view from the GoPro 7, which is handlebar mounted. Yeah, all very clever stuff, but I'll leave it there now and we'll go over to the kitchen. The Insta360 RS, you see lots of video on that, and it's a fantastic camera and great value. Right, here we are, yeah, in the kitchen with some of my helmets. Yeah, I've got another one there you can't quite see. So the GoPro 10 I'm using to film on, and this is the one that I usually use for doing the walk rounds. So I'll show you that in a little while. My main camera at the moment is this one. This is the Insta360 1RS. This is the mic adapter, so if you get one of these you will need a mic adapter if you want to do some muttering. That clicks on there, about 20 quid, that's all. These are about, you can get them for about 300 to 350 pounds, and this comes with the 360 lens as well, which is in here in this little case, so you can actually do the 360. I can't be bothered to do it, more editing to do, I don't have time for that, but I might give it a go at some point. So on the helmet you'll need one of these fixings, which are dead easy to put on and off. If you've got a GoPro you'll know all about them. Dead easy, slide on and off. Every helmet is different, and so you need different brackets. There's a place called Chin Mounts. They're very expensive, but they will 3D print you one to fit your helmet. You just have a look and see what helmets they make them for, and they'll print you one off. Camera obviously fits on there like that, and then you have to mess about with the angle to get it right. You can link it to your phone and check with your phone if you can't see the screen, as you can with this helmet. Some bikes are really difficult to get the angle right. The SV is one of those, which is why I've been looking at whether I can do it from mounting it on the bars. But that's the 360. This is my old faithful, yeah, GoPro 7. To get that onto the helmet, I bought this little case, and you can get them without this if you don't want the mic, but this is the GoPro mic adapter, which you'll need if you want to mutter. And these, unlike the Insta one, are expensive. These are about £50 there or thereabouts. That just slots in there like that. This slides in there, and that fastens in there. Then here you've got USB-C and your mic hole. Yeah, brilliant. And then obviously that goes on the same, except it's a bit higher. Now you'll see on this helmet, which is the one I used the most, it sticks up higher. And also on this one, this bracket is actually metal, because I went through a point where they were snapping an awful lot. But let's get that out of the way. So that's the GoPro 7, fantastic camera, use that in all weathers. It has got old and it has started cutting out and doing weird things, but I still use it an awful lot. The next problem is the mic, and this is where everybody's problem is. And this is just a Hama mic. As you can see, these cost about £5. Yeah, that's all, not much. And they're bendy, and you can fit them inside your helmet quite easily. You'll need an extension cable like this one. This is a very long one, and there are others which I'll talk about in a second. Let's get this out of the way. It's chaotic, isn't it? So that's in your helmet. That'd plug in there, and that plugs into here like that. And then you've got your mic, and you're away muttering. Now the GoPro 7 with this setup needs nothing. The GoPro 10, which I'm using, and the Insta, well, the Insta has a setting on it that you can increase and decrease the gain, which will get rid of all the crackling and distortion that you often hear. But there is another way of dealing with that. If I can find it. Somewhere here. So this is the same. This is an extension, and what it has is a volume switch, and it's just an inline volume control for headphones. I know, brilliant, isn't it? But you can get the same effect as turning the gain up and down, and you'll have to play with it a little bit depending on the camera as to how high you have the volume. It does a good enough job to use for muttering. It obviously basically just turns the volume up and down, so you will lose other noise as well, but you will avoid the cracking, especially on the GoPro 10. It does make the GoPro 10 actually much more usable. So what I'll do now, so this, before I finish, this just plugs in as normal. On here you'll see I've got a shorter extension cable, and there is something about these cables that you need to know. So if you look at this mic, and this is just a lavalier mic which you can use, much more difficult to get all the gubbins inside your helmet, but they still work. This has got 3 rings, 1, 2, 3, and for that to work you will need it converted to 2 rings. Yep, can you see that there? And so you simply have to plug those in. So when you're buying these cables, make sure you get the right one. I think this is a TRRS and that's a TRS, so it might be TRRS. Yeah, I know. Brilliant. But yeah, that's important. So the GoPro 10, I'll show you that in a second. Right, so the GoPro 10 looks pretty much similar. It's a bit bigger than the GoPro 7. I've taken the door off here because there's your USB-C for charging and stuff. But I've bought the media mod. It's this thing. That slides in there. Close that. The media mods are about £80, something like that, between 50 and 80. But this gives you switchable mic, so you can have it on all of them. You can have it front, you can have it back. It also provides you with a port for your mic, to stick your mic in, your USB-C for charging and stuff, and one for connecting it straight to your computer for if you want to use it as a webcam, I guess, or if you want to put it on your TV, playback and stuff. Yeah. It's also got a hot plate there for putting other things on, and one on the side. Now, what I haven't gone into here, this obviously fits on exactly the same. Much better camera from the video point of view. From a audio sound, a nightmare, but can be sorted with one of these inline volume controls. Bit complicated, I know. I might do a more in-depth one if people are interested, but a lot of people have been asking me about this, and I'm keen for everyone to get out and do some muttering. Yeah. And this is the cheapest way. So you've got your Hama mic at sort of £5 to £10. You get different ones. A cable, just a few pounds. Your camera's the biggest one. I would start with a GoPro 7 if I were you, because they're just a fantastic and they need the least amount of work. One other thing before I finish, and I won't do too much on that, is these Rode mics. Yeah, wireless. So what I tend to do if I'm using these is that goes onto the hot plate there. That plugs in there, and then these are your mics. You can plug in a Hama mic as well if you want to do that, so you can clip that to your helmet underneath or yourself and wire that to your helmet, to your Hama mic or your lavalier mic, yeah, whatever, or just use it as it is. Now, these also record independently, so if you're more into editing your sound separately, you can pull it straight off these on your computer and use that audio rather than the audio from the camera. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, that's a whistle blast tour of my setup. I've just got 3 of my helmets here. I've got a lot more. The lavalier mics, dirt cheap. I've spent a lot of money on them, and I've spent very little money. This is a Rode. But the cheaper the better is what I've found. Yeah, much easier. They're like the little thick kid in class. But that's about it. What I will do is a video on editing, so how you get it from your camera onto YouTube. If anyone's interested in that, let us know, and I will do that. If you want a more in-depth one on the cameras, also let me know. Brilliant. Ta-ta. So I hope you find that helpful. Back on the SV, this time with the Insta360. The things I didn't mention really too much in the kitchen. The sound, I know I keep banging on about sound, but it is crucial. The other is reliability, and the Insta360 has so far proven totally reliable. The other day it cut out because I put the wrong battery on. I put on a flat battery as opposed to a freshly charged battery. but other than that, the battery seems to last forever, whereas the GoPros don't last very long. Conditions, well, it was -3, the coldest I think I've used the Insta in, and it worked just fine. The GoPro 7, the actual lens is frozen at sort of -6, -7 in like freezing fog, but the camera kept going. Yeah, and so in a way the GoPros deal with the cold much better, because generally they overheat. Yeah, marvellous. But any camera's good, and what's more important is that you get out there and do some vlogging and get something up onto YouTube. As I've said, I will do a video, as long as people are interested, how you get it from the camera to YouTube. The other thing I wanted to show you was as well how you can vlog just with your phone. Now obviously anything that I show you, I can tell you now, is going to involve iPhone and iPad. I believe it's very similar, or both the iPhone and the iPad are very similar to Android or any other tablet. You'll just have to use slightly different software, but I believe everybody makes the software, and ultimately you can always use YouTube to edit your videos. Yeah, the YouTube Studio provides a platform. Oh, look at the size of that dog, marvellous. Anyway, I've gone on enough now for the third time. I'll say ta-ta. Yeah, have a fantastic day, and if you've got any questions, do leave in the comments, yeah, or email me if you want to know anything specific and you don't want to comment. Send me an email, yeah, possibly with a photo of your bike. Yeah, marvellous. Ta-ta.